Wow, if there ever was a movie that truly deserves its billion-dollar status, it is absolutely Batman: The Dark Knight. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video we get to review Batman: The Dark Knight, which is a superhero action movie that quite literally changed the game and really did show how you do a sequel movie properly. The first time that a sequel is surpassing every single thing that has gone on beforehand, and it pretty much redefined the comic book genre. I mean, every single act was just so thrilling, so intense, true edge of your seat viewing, and as you were progressing through the movie it just got better and better. It's really dark, really complex, really mysterious, and truly unforgettable, with fantastic performances. And all of the characters, even though there were quite a lot of characters and quite a lot of storylines taking place, everything was balanced really well and was just building up to this massive crescendo finale, and there was just a constant sense of a climax happening as you were progressing through this movie, which just worked so well, and I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this movie review. So this movie opens up with a sequence that you have seen in other movies, which is a bit of a bank heist taking place, and it really does show that there's no honor amongst thieves, as they are all going to backstab each other for the loot. And it really does also show, and kind of foreshadows as well, that the Joker character is always going to be one step ahead than everybody else. We are then quickly introduced to Gotham City's new White Knight, Harvey Dent, and Bruce Wayne is really excited about him becoming the new protector of Gotham City, as he can then give up the mantle of being Batman, as you can really feel the pressure and the burden of the Batman character on the Bruce Wayne character. And you can also see a bit of friendly rivalry taking place between Bruce Wayne and Harvey Dent, mainly over the Rachel Dawes character. We also see that all of the mob gangs are uniting under the Joker to finally stop Batman once and for all. And the Joker also has another bit of a master plan going on, which is to demonstrate and show that one bad day can lead anybody to go truly insane and to go absolutely crazy, which is obviously a storyline thread that we have seen the Joker doing to a lot of people. For example, Commissioner Jim Gordon, which he does in The Killing Joke. And all of the chaos and the carnage that this one character is able to cause across all of Gotham City is just true edge of your seat viewing. All of the craziness is just absolutely electrifying, and I just feel like the performance mainly from Heath Ledger is just absolutely captivating. Now, from a positive point of view, I love how they just really expanded everything. I mean, Batman Begins was a pretty expansive movie in its own right, but this time you get to see Gotham City in an even deeper scale, and you also have a bit of a global angle as well, as we get to see what's going to happen when Batman goes to Hong Kong to stop the Lau character. I feel like that sequence in Hong Kong was absolutely wicked, with Lucius Fox also helping from a technology point of view. And on that point, I absolutely loved the brand new Bat suit and all of the new Bat gadgets. Absolutely wicked. Loved all of the gliding that Christian Bale's character was doing. There were loads of subplots happening in this movie, but they never felt overcrowded or overstuffed. And if anything, they were just building upon this massive crescendo finale, really keeping the narrative across this movie really effective. I also loved all of the psychological warfare that the Joker character was imposing, not only to Batman, of course Batman was his main target, but also to loads of other people. For example, the ship sequence in the finale, giving Batman an impossible decision. Is he going to save the Rachel character, or is he going to save Harvey Dent? And also for Harvey Dent, really descending him into chaos and into madness was just so captivating. And this movie also has some incredible quotes as well. So for example, when the Joker is saying anybody can fall into madness as it's just like gravity, all you need is a little push and somebody can descend into madness. Why so serious? Just became an absolute sensation. And also Harvey Dent, when he was saying, you know, you can either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself becoming a villain. And I just feel like this can be attributed to so many characters across movies and TV shows, and I just feel like it was so brilliantly used in this film. I also loved how the Scarecrow character was making a bit of an appearance in the beginning of this movie to really keep the continuity thread across all three of these movies, as of course he then reappears in the third movie. And I loved all of the moral dilemmas that the Joker character was imposing on a lot of people in terms of making these impossible decisions, and are all of the prisoners going to do the right thing or the wrong thing? Are these wealthy elite people going to do the right thing or the wrong thing? So captivating and truly edge of your seat viewing, even just from a psychological point of view. And then you add in all of the wicked action sequences. This movie really did just push all of the limits, and I love that there were also some detective aspects, which is true to the comic book origins of this character, but of course this then got multiplied by 10 million times in Robert Pattinson's The Batman, which really did focus on detective work. However, from a negatives point of view, I wish they would have focused a little bit more on the Two-Face character when he was doing all of the chaos towards the end of this movie. But apart from that one very minor nitpick, I otherwise think that the storyline in this movie is actually pretty perfect. So from a cast and characters point of view, this movie is just absolutely sensational. Everybody literally brings their A game in this movie and really does throw themselves into it, literally puts their best foot forward, and it just makes this movie so good. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, of course, we have Christian Bale, who is so good as well as Bruce Wayne and Batman. I absolutely loved all of the playboy billionaire aspects of this character, loved it in Batman Begins, and it's really nice to see it continued in this movie. Of course, it didn't really happen in The Dark Knight Rises, so I feel like what they did focus on in terms of this character being really arrogant, being really wealthy, all of those aspects of the Bruce Wayne character were just executed brilliantly. And I also really liked how they were showing the burden of being Batman on this character, and actually how he's ready to give up that mantle and to live a normal life with the Rachel Dawes character. And I really like the friendly rivalry between him and Harvey Dent, and how he really looks up to Harvey Dent as the new protector of Gotham City, but obviously also has a bit of a love rivalry with him. But then we have the ultimate rivalry between him and the demented, devilish Joker character. And I absolutely love all of the Batman versus Joker characters, such brilliant characters, arguably different sides of the same coin. I feel like these two characters are so synonymous and so iconic, and I just feel like Heath Ledger and Christian Bale just did fantastic performances as both of these characters. Speaking of which, next up we have Heath Ledger. The late Heath Ledger very tragically passing just before the opening of this movie, which is really sad. But as far as his performance goes, he just absolutely nailed it, totally embodied everything about all of the sinister, scary aspects of this character, and literally just bursts in from the first scene that you see him in across this movie, literally just jumping in there, not holding himself or abiding himself to any moral code. And we really focus on the rise of the Joker. So they don't look at the origin of the Joker, but we see how he's rising to his mob boss status. And like I said, we really focus on all of the sadistic games that this character is causing to loads of other people, and he really is an unhinged agent of chaos. And I love the rivalry that they set up between him and Batman, and you really do hear a lot of things happening in the comic books about how these two characters don't really want to kill each other, as they love the rivalry and the constant torture with this, and they really do touch on that in this movie, especially when the Joker is hanging off a building, and you really see that this guy has zero sympathy and empathy, and he just does whatever he wants to do. I love how he was describing his mental state to the Harvey Dent character in terms of he just does things, whereas other people are kind of the master manipulators behind things. And he's actually really successful in truly disrupting societal norms and the way in which society is running through all of his evil crimes, but not in a traditional way, in a really barbaric and psychological tortured way. And I love how Heath Ledger really got himself into character as he was isolating himself in a hotel just to really experience and learn what it's like to be somebody who really is a loner. Next up we have Aaron Eckhart, who was also really great as both Two-Face and Harvey Dent. And I love how he has the traditional American hero qualities to him and is really Gotham City's White Knight that everyone is really looking up to be able to sort out all of the crime and all of the chaos that's happening in Gotham City. But the Joker really does show how anybody, especially a good guy, is able to become evil, and he really made him feel like he's got nothing to live for, and then helped him transform into the evil Two-Face character. And Two-Face is actually a really sinister villain, as he just plays Russian roulette with everybody's life. Every single decision is left to chance. So he isn't really manipulative in the same sense as the Joker character. If anything, he's kind of dangerous in a very different way, as it is just so unpredictable in terms of what the decision is going to be, as it's quite literally all left to chance. Next up we have Gary Oldman, who was also really great as Commissioner Jim Gordon. I love the triangular relationship between Jim Gordon, Batman and Harvey Dent, which really did get focused on, especially towards the end of this movie. And I love the guilt and the burden that you really feel from Jim Gordon towards the end of this movie, as he really doesn't want Batman to carry all of the toxic, unfair actions of what Harvey Dent did when he was Two-Face, and you really get to see this expanded upon in the next movie. We also have Michael Caine, who was so good as Alfred Pennyworth, always the godfather over helping and overseeing all of the Batman things, and I feel like you can really feel how much Alfred is really loving supporting both Bruce Wayne and Batman. This relationship obviously becomes very sour in the next movie, but as far as this film is concerned, I absolutely love the partnership between these two guys. And then finally, we also have Morgan Freeman, who's playing Lucius Fox, who, like I said, is really helpful from a technology perspective and really is a weapons master and really does transform and update the Batsuit, which looked so wicked, by the way. And by the way, we've also got Maggie Gyllenhaal, who is replacing Katie Holmes as the Rachel Dawes character, and I feel like Maggie Gyllenhaal did a really good job. You really are able to believe the conflict that she has in terms of who is she going to choose, Harvey Dent or is she going to choose Bruce Wayne. And when you're thinking that she's going to survive and then she dies, absolutely game-changing and truly emotionally powerful performance as well. I feel like Maggie Gyllenhaal did such a good job as the recast of Rachel Dawes' character, and so from a casting character's point of view, like I said, everybody puts their best foot forward and they do such a good job in The Dark Knight. So from a visuals point of view, quite literally on another level. They are just so good in this movie. First of all of the Bat-centric aspects of this movie are so brilliant. Like I said, the Bat-suit looks really great, the Batmobile looks really wicked, all of the action sequences across this movie, absolutely wicked. The bank sequence, like I said, right in the start of this movie is really good when the Joker is destroying all of Gotham City. Absolutely mind-blowing. And we also see Batman going to Hong Kong and all of the sequences in that massive skyscraper looking really wicked. This then mirrored the skyscraper right at the end of this movie. Absolutely love the fact that all of the SWAT team are thinking that they're killing all of the clowns, whereas actually these are civilians. Absolutely brilliant. And all of the sadistic mind games that the Joker is doing across this movie, all of the impossible decisions that everyone needs to make, all of the high-speed chase sequences across this film, absolutely wicked. The way in which Joker is just flinging out of this truck looks really cool. All of the mob world, the underground crime world, look really good, and I just feel like this dark aesthetic that Christopher Nolan was creating just looked absolutely outstanding in The Dark Knight. So from a comparison point of view, like I said, this movie quite literally changed the game. So I think it's the best Batman movie still to this day. I think it's one of the best comic book movies ever made, and I also think it's one of the best movies ever made as well. So wicked, so many things happening in this movie from a storyline point of view, characters point of view, visuals point of view, and just so unexpected, constantly keeps you on the edge of your seat. And so from a comparisons point of view, I just have to say this is one of the best movies ever made. So overall, The Dark Knight is just such an incredible movie. It literally changed the game and really did show the perfect blueprint example of how you really do make a movie just so incredible. Absolute constant joy, excitement, horror, fear, and emotion. I feel like everybody put their best foot forward and did truly outstanding performances. Loved all of the twists and turns. The Joker character was just personified in this movie so brilliantly, and such a different performance to what you've seen in other movies and TV shows. Most noticeably, obviously Jack Nicholson made this character really iconic as well, but I feel like Heath Ledger did a very different type of performance that was really chilling and really does shake you to your core. And I just feel like this movie is just such a brilliant example, especially of how to do a sequel properly, which not a lot of other franchises are capable of doing. And so for all of those reasons, I have to give The Dark Knight a massive perfect 10 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear what you thought of The Dark Knight, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.